Welcome to Todd and Tazzy Tuesdays. A Bunny Hugs a Mental Health production.
So this is my third heart attack, and the other two were worse than this one. This one just seems to be taking longer for me to get it. It's been 2 weeks now, and I'm weak. Like, I used to bench like 4 1/4 and be able to do 85-pound flies. We fostered 2 puppies. I picked the puppy up. I'm like, this dog's heavy. Yeah. And a couple of seconds later, it wasn't as heavy because it pooped all over the floor, so it was perfect.
Oh, nice. So I was going to ask, or I was going to let you ask, how's your head? How's your heart? I know how your heart is.
Ask you that. How's your head and your heart?
Well, it's been, God, it's been a rough winter.
Coding, just get at her.
Yeah, it's been a rough winter.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say extremes. It's like really up and down this winter, but we've also, I know I've talked about this already, like a lot of change in the last while, with losing a loved one and moving and all this shit. I'm still optimistic and hopeful, but yeah.
Little brother, that's the only way there is to be, right? I mean, when we lose optimism and when we lose hope, it's just dark, right? It's just so... It's just, and my mood is based on, well, lots of stuff. A lot of stuff I don't know either. But my mood is based on things like barometric pressure. So if there's a storm coming, I find myself depressed and lost and you know, trying to see, but my head's so far at my arse I can, unless, you know. And then and where we live, the prairie, like yesterday was +4 or 5, and 3 days before that was -51 with the wind chill, right?
I know.
So
that didn't help.
What the hell's going on, right? And this heart attack. So for 3 days before, I figured I was having heart problems. It just felt weird. But then I thought, oh no, it's my neck, because I didn't want it to be heart problems, right? I wanted to be chiropractic problems, because chiropractic means 4 minutes on the table, then I go home and do whatever, right? And so what happened was on the Friday night, I finally went, there's something wrong. I mean, I knew I was having a heart attack. It felt like my other heart attacks. So I said, if I wake up in the middle of the night feeling off and not well, I will call an ambulance. Lala had already gone back to BC, our place in BC.
Did you let her know that you thought it was your heart?
I said I'm not sure, because I wasn't, right? And I didn't want her to worry, and I don't think I'm worth worrying about, so I didn't say very much, because I'm what do they call a male? And so what I did was I packed a bag, knowing that, you know, I packed some snacks, and I packed some water, and I packed my iPad with some, pardon me?
A stint?
A stint. I packed my iPad with a bunch of movies on it, knowing that either I'm going to be there for a few days or a whole bunch of hours, because the way the health system is, it's very slow here. Like, you could be, some people are 2 days and emerge before they even get looked at. My buddy Dean Jenkinson's got one of the funniest lines. He goes, Manitoba's got the new slogan called "Time Heals All Wounds."
I think you told me that joke last time we recorded.
Oh my gosh, that was funny. So I woke up and it was bad, like numbness through my jaw, and it felt like my teeth were itchy, which is nobody understands that unless I tell them. And afterwards they say, "Oh, I knew exactly what you meant. Your teeth are itchy." Anybody that's had a heart attack. And across my back and my whole body, and I was weak. And I thought, okay, well, let's make sure that it's my heart. I'll walk to the front door, and my house isn't very big, so I walked to the front door, and I didn't make it all the way to the front door, and I collapsed. And I went, so I'm laying on the ground, going, "Yep, I got my phone out and I called 911. I said, hey, listen, having a heart attack, having an MI, and, oh, you've had one before? Yes, I have 2 times before. And they came and got me. My house is little and 1930s house, so you can't bring a stretcher in. We had to use one of those chairs, and the guy comes in and he's checking my vitals and he goes, okay. And they do what they call the STEMI program, where they put a whole bunch of things on and then they hook it up and they can tell electronically if your heart is not working. Well, it wasn't. And he said to me, we're going to get you right in. We're going to take you right to cath lab. In other words, straight into surgery. Not going to get you into the hospital. Nothing. We'll get you into surgery right away because your RCA seems plugged. Well, it was plugged 100%. It was jammed up. But I have a stent in my RCA, so my stent was plugged 100%. So it was like somebody else's foot is in my sock, right? And so I'll send you the pictures later, brother.
You sent them to me already.
Yeah, and it looked like, doesn't it like 2 different fishing maps? Doesn't it look like one goes like this, and the other one when it's open goes, oh, there's all the tributaries and stuff. The South Saskatchewan's flowing again. That's lovely. And so we get in there, and the guy says, "Are you Tazz?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He goes, "Oh, this is awesome." I'm like, he goes, "No." He says, I'm Clifford. And I as soon as he said his name, I recognized him, but I didn't know where from, right?
Clifford Olson?
No.
Oh, okay.
Good Clifford.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And the other one's dead, dude. And so Clifford says to me, you came to my very first class, EMT class, and you talked about mental health, and you talked about, understanding how the patients are going to be scared, and your job is to make everybody feel like they are, they're going to be okay. Everything's going to be safe, right? And because what had happened, the first heart attack I got, they said, what kind of meds are you on? I said, I'm on this and I'm on this. I'm on Epival, I'm on Effexor for bipolar disorder. As soon as I said bipolar disorder, the one of the guys goes, ugh. And then he looks at the other guy, and the other guy gives him a look. And then they didn't take me seriously, right? To the point where they weren't going to take me to the hospital. They were just going to say it was okay. And kind of a paranormal kind of thing happened where there was another guy whose name is Jason Little, who was the EMT, like the medical supervisor on that rig. But he wasn't there. He was at number 5, house 5, and he was working out. And so he's working out, and he looked up on the screen, and he goes, oh, possible heart attack. I don't need to go. And then something in his head goes, you need to go now. Go now. And it was so powerful. He said, Tazzy, it was so powerful, I went. And I'm glad he did, because he did the STEMI program, and I was having the same thing. My RSA was blocked 99%. And so he tells that story all the time, right? And so why'd those guys kind of roll their eyes when you said bipolar? Because they thought, okay, I'm just faking it.
Oh,
all right. And they said to me afterwards, because I called him on it, and Jason called him on it, and they said, no, we didn't do that. I said, you did. You might not have known that you did it, but just remember that the patients will take cues from you. So at that moment, had you said you're not having a heart attack, I would have stayed at home. And Jason said you probably would have died.
And that was the first heart attack?
That was the first heart attack. That was 2011, 2014, and 2024. Because, or 2025, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I wrote the check wrong for the heart surgeon.
At least you predated it, not postdated it.
And that's it, man. I'm still very weak. I'm tired. I lost thousands of dollars worth of work because it was the busiest part of my year was that 2 weeks that I was off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you started that GoFundMe page for me. Thanks, buddy. I love you for that, because I would have never done it, because I thought, who am I to do that, right? And I see other people do, and it was great. And people donated, and I was able to pay.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day, and that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most. at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Business taxes. Was stressing about all the time and all the money you spent on your taxes.
This is my bill?
Now Business Taxes is a TurboTax small business expert who does your taxes for you and offers year-round advice at no additional cost, so you can keep more money in your business. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on turbotax.com/business. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service.
Take your plans out of the group chat and get long weekend ready in new Abercrombie. From day to night, pack new outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch? Throw on the A&F Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation in their new bubble hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack for pics with the girls. Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Squirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
My meds, I bought all these meds at like $300 worth of meds, and they didn't work for me. So I broke my own rule. Well, Lala didn't know that my rule is I ask for new meds, I ask for 1 week of meds, because then it's a very small amount. I've had some pharmacists say, no, we don't do that. I go, yeah, you do. I pay for what I get. I want to make sure I'm not going to have an allergic reaction to it, because meds are expensive. So now I got like $300 worth of meds that they said, oh, if you want to bring them back, we can dispose them for. They've never been opened, right? They've never been opened, and they're for heart medic. So it's just it's a giant waste of money.
I'll give you 200.
You can't get high on them, dude. So no.
I just like a good deal. It doesn't matter.
I'd like it. Yeah.
I am my father's son.
Me too. If I really was my father's son, I would have made my own meds.
There you go. If I was my grandpa, I would have found them in the dumpster in the back alley.
Yeah, exactly right. But my head and heart are good. I mean, I'm very emotional. I had a breakdown yesterday, and we fostered these 2 puppies, and I know we can't keep them because I'm not home enough nor responsible enough to keep these puppies. But you know, they had to go back, and then I was so happy to have these puppies, and then you know, Lala's here, and the heart attack and all the overwhelm. 1,100, almost 1,200 people or more reached out and said, "Are you okay?" It was overwhelming. I think I'm a piece of shit, right? I think I'm a big giant piece of globular shit with 1 peanut. And
why so few peanuts?
Huh?
Why so few peanuts?
This one.
Oh, okay.
A piece of Lego from when I was a kid. And I just think I'm not worth caring about. And then these people were you and everybody. You guys all reached out. It was overwhelming, man. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
I just had a feeling that we're very similar. I would probably just isolate and go fuck and feel sorry for myself and hate myself. And I know you would never ask for money from anyone.
No.
I mean, my heart broke for you because I knew you were going to be busy in February. And I just love you. I mean, whatever.
Puerto Rico. We were supposed to be coming back from Puerto Rico today or yesterday for that show. Those 2 shows, those 2 massive shows.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Only 2 people were very weird about it as well. There were a couple of people that said, well, and one canceled the show in June or something. And I'll be okay by then. And then another client decided to, we're only going to do, maybe we'll only do 1 show instead of the 2 shows that night. I go, no, I'll do 2 shows. We're fine. Translation is we didn't sell enough tickets to do 2 shows, right? And I had to give deposits back and figure out other people to do the shows, and everybody's been wonderful. Like I said, a couple people were, upset that I couldn't make it. One fellow was very upset and then wanted a discount on the guy coming in. And I said, no, I mean, he's a good cat. He's a good comedian. Like, why do you want to? And it just, so I just, 3 people made it onto the never again list. So I will never work with him again. And that's fine. And I'm not trying to be a dink or anything like that, but come on.
I get it. You work for yourself.
I work for myself. We work for ourselves. And the other thing is that it just was, if I say I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah. I've
only missed a couple of shows. And it's very funny. One time I went to do this show and they hired me and they agreed to it was great and they were excited. And then they called me back and said, yeah, we can't use you. And I said, oh, can I ask you why? Can you send the deposit back? I said, sure. I just require a why. Well, and she goes, it's kind of tough to say, but you left a whole group of people high and dry a few years ago because you didn't show up at your gig. And I went, never happened. I can tell you a number of times that I've had to cancel a gig, and I can fit them all on one hand until this heart attack. Then it took 10. There's 10 gigs I had to cancel, but and the lady says, well, one of our board members said, I just need to know the gig. Which gig? Well, it was 4 years ago, and it was for this group. And I went, yeah, I had a heart attack. And you tell that old bugger that not only did I cover the gig while I was in the ambulance going to the hospital, but I got 2 people to cover the gig for the price of one. They loved the gig, and I've done the gig twice since.
People are weird, man.
Odd, hey?
People are so weird.
Guys didn't do a show. Oh, he was killed in a car accident. Yeah. But he's got an obligation. Come here. Son of a bitch, it's those guys.
We gave him a deposit.
It's not my fault he can't fly a Honda.
Actually, the way I found out that you had the heart attack was actually some small community group that was going to have you in Manitoba, I think.
Whitecourt. No, Whitecourt. Whitewood.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Saskatchewan.
Whitewood. Yeah, I think it was Whitewood.
Anyway, they were all sweet about it. They're like, oh, we're so sorry that Tazz can't come, but he had a heart attack. And, they were like...
They were so sweet. They were so sweet. Do you think we should cancel? And I go, I'm not sure. And they said, well, let's cancel and do it. Let's do it. Because you're supposed to be next week, I think I was supposed to be there. And let's just cancel, and we'll get you out again when you're feeling better. And another lady, was so sweet, dude. She goes, it's a charity fundraiser. And she goes, okay, when you get the deposit back, keep $200 because I know it's going to be hard for you to work. And I said, well, only if I can take $400 off my fee when
you go to do it.
When we get to do the gig. She goes, no, this is, you give back so much. And dude, I can't, I'm in tears right now, but I'm overwhelmed by the love that, like my son said, why are you overwhelmed, Dad? You created this love, right? You've created this love for you. Why can't you see that? I go, because for the same reason, right? I don't like what I see in the mirror at all. And he said, well, the mirror is a bad invention because if you never had a mirror, you'd never know what you looked like, right? And I went, oh, wow. Like, it just...
Like, shut up, kid.
Yeah. Shut up being smarter than me.
You're grounded.
That's not hard, Daddy, right? and Beastie and Joshy are both my boys. They're both in touch with their mental health and very much in touch with the way they're feeling. And when I go, how's your head? How's your heart? They tell me straight out because I don't let the word fine show up. I don't let, right? If you're fine, use a different word.
You know what? When I was in Pine Lodge addiction treatment,
yeah,
every morning our counselor would ask us, how are you feeling? And every morning someone would go, good. She goes, French fries are good. How are you feeling? And then you'd have to...
I feel like a French fry. A little oily. And I like to cover myself in ketchup.
I wasn't sure what to expect when I started the GoFundMe, and within a day, it was like over $5,000, and then now it's over $10,000. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much you lost or how much you were supposed to make, but like, just the fact that people were willing to.
Almost 4 times that, but that doesn't matter, right? Because I'm here to bitch about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that'll cover having to return a bunch of, deposits and stuff that I've used for other things like, food and that sort of stuff. So
medication.
Oh my gosh, the medication. When I looked at how much my son spent on medication, I went, sweetheart. He goes, yeah, but and what it was one medication was making me this way. So they gave me another medication. I go, well, can't I just go off this medication? Well, you could. Well, then I'm not buying 2 medications. See how that works?
Exactly.
And then I couldn't breathe for properly for 2 or 3 days, and it was something. One of the meds that they put me on to make sure that my heart, the stent takes right. So the body doesn't reject it like mine rejects gymnasiums. And so we go to get that one. I'm like, except the other one was like $90. This one was $5. I was like, give me this one. I said, always give me the one that is no longer in trial runs from Pfizer and Eli Lilly. Give me everything in a yellow package that just says medication on it.
Yeah, you bought it off Temu.
Temu, that's exactly it. These taste like jelly beans.
Well, right on, man. I'm so glad that you're feeling better, that we could chat and bullshit again, and that everybody's messages and donations and support made you feel good.
I just broke down and just wailed. I was like, oh my God, people actually like me. And Lala's like, yes, they do. The only person that can't see that is you. Right? And I'm like, I get it. It's not my job.
It's not my job to love me.
It's not my job to figure out who loves me. I've got 4 ex-wives. 3. I should not say 4 because Lala would be like, is there something I should know about? Well, this makes it easier, doesn't it?
Get confident, stupid. From The Simpsons.
Stupid. You and I are kind of the same. We just don't, from whatever happened, and I'm pretty sure I know what it was in my life that made me feel like I'll never be enough. Yet, I feel like I'm too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm too much and not enough all at the same time. Right now, any psychiatrists are watching. Psychiatrists. Psychiatry. Ophthalmologist first. What? I don't know what that means. I said that word inside out by accident. Sorry. They just right now, they're just like, I need to get a hold of this cat. There's a case study in here somewhere.
Physical and mentally.
Not case.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. You look good, and it makes my heart even better now to know that I can see your face and we can bullshit and have a good time.
That's great. I love hanging out with you, and I love talking to you. And now I just got to learn to love myself a little bit. But that's a conversation for another day, brother.
Yeah. Next time we record. Okay, see you, buddy.
Okay, lots of love.